Oftentimes, non-native English speakers are assured that when they sing in English, their accents will be virtually and automatically erased. However, more often than not, they find that when they're singing in English, their accents betray them. And why is this? Why is this the case? I've taught a lot of private lessons to international students, and I've observed some really common tendencies with non-native English speakers. And those tendencies tend to fall into the category of attempting to apply the rules of their language to English, which never works. Different languages have different sets of phonemes, speech sounds that are used. So for example, some languages, such as Spanish, contain only a handful of vowel sounds, which is significantly fewer than the some 16 to 20 vowels that we have in English, depending on the speaker and the region. And so that means that those non-native English speakers are operating within a more limited phonemic framework. And when those non-native English speakers encounter sounds within English with which they're not familiar and don't know how to make, they tend to try to put them into little phonemic boxes that do make sense to them, that they are familiar with. Generally speaking, they will try to find the nearest phoneme, consonant, or vowel sound in their language and pronounce that English vowel sound or consonant sound just as they would in their language. So for example, you may have the word sit, which contains the short vowel sound I. If that singer's language doesn't contain that particular short vowel sound, then he or she may attempt to sing it as a long vowel sound, a vowel sound that is contained in his or her language. So sit becomes seat, for example. And this, of course, will make that accent noticeable to the listener. So for non-native English speakers who are attempting to erase their accents when they sing in English, I have a couple suggestions. The first is to get rid of the lyric sheets. Oftentimes, singers learn the lyrics to their songs by reading them off the internet, off of sheet music. And when they're reading those words on the paper or on the screen, they're looking at letter symbols. And when they see letter symbols that are familiar to them, that are contained in their language, their brains are automatically going to send signals to their articulators to apply certain sounds to those letter symbols. Now this becomes problematic because in English, we oftentimes have more than one sound associated with a given letter symbol. Our vowels, for example, may have 2, 3, even 4 different sounds connected to that particular symbol. So this is why for non-native English speakers, learning the words of a song and how to pronounce them correctly in English is not best done using lyric sheets. So rather than attempting to learn the words and the pronunciation from lyric sheets, instead, what non-native English speakers need to do is start listening. They need to start listening critically and analyzing how the original singer is pronouncing his or her vowel sounds and consonant sounds. And then the next step is to learn how to make those same sounds, to learn how to shape the lips, how to position the jaw, how to shape and position the tongue to make those same sounds. And this takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication because these are not sounds that you're familiar with and that you're accustomed to making on a daily basis. And so you have to drill them and practice them and build that muscle memory. And once you do that, you're going to be pronouncing those speech sounds correctly. And when you pronounce them correctly, your accent will in fact be erased. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful and informative. If it has been, please take a moment to click the thumbs up button. If you have not already done so, take a moment also please to subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified the next time I post a new video such as this one. I also have another video on this topic of English diction for non-native English speakers, and I'll put the link for that video up at the end here. And I talk about syllable division and how we can learn whether or not a given vowel sound should be pronounced as the long or short version based on how we're dividing the syllables. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today and happy singing.